Draft Day! Welcome back to Big Apple Breakdown, a Draft Day special show. Henry, are you ready?
Yes, sir. The eve of the draft, actually, not draft day. Close to draft day.
Yes.
Very exciting NFL draft tomorrow. There's been a lot of Yankees baseball going on, but this is just gonna be mostly NFL draft.
Mets look great. Quick shout to them,
Yes,
18-7.
Carlos Rodon
just swept the Phillies.
Carlos Rodon has looked good the last two starts.
Anthony Volpe sucks.
Yeah, and Cody Bellinger also kind of
Knicks
sucks.
1-1 series. They don't look great against the Pistons. Let's get into it. I am amped up for this NFL draft.
Yes, sir.
It's pretty much draft day. If you're you might be listening to this on draft day.
Today,
we're gonna call it draft
today or
day.
tomorrow. All right, yeah, I like it.
What will the Giants and Jets do? So, if you've been living under a rock and haven't looked on anything over the last few months, the New York Giants have the 3rd overall pick. And all signs are pointed to that pick being Penn State superstar edge rusher Abdul Carter. Because Cam Ward is likely going number 1. The Giants tried to trade up for Cam Ward multiple times. Titans are going to select him at number 1. And it sounds like Travis Hunter is going number 2 to the Browns. But unless something crazy happens, I'm pretty confident the pick's going to be Abdul Carter tomorrow.
Yeah, how are you gonna feel when the Giants shock the world and draft Ashton Jenkins?
That's not if that happens, I'm throwing my TV out the window. Window. We'll record it, Henry. If the Giants ever take a running back again in the top 5, I'm not watching football for that year.
I like that. Yeah, I believe it's gonna be Abdul Carter. All the rumblings of Shedeur going 3, I don't buy that. Maybe if he falls late, the Giants would trade back up and take him.
Yeah, that's the intriguing part because the Giants are not going to be done in the all likelihood after they select Abdul Carter at around 8:30 p.m. They're going to be on the phone trying to trade back late into the first round. There's a few teams that I would look for them to trade with. One, the Rams at 26. And then the Washington Commanders at 29. I could see that for about maybe a Jalen Milroe player or Jackson Dart if he really falls.
You think the Commanders would be willing to?
Yeah, I've seen apparently they're willing to. That's an option. That's it's 5 picks. Pick 34 to pick 29 they have. So I could see that one. Maybe if they like Shedeur so much. Because I don't think Shedeur is gonna fall past Pittsburgh. I would say that's the latest he'll go to 20. Mm-hmm. But he definitely could fall in those mid-teens areas. So maybe they trade up there. But I'm excited, man. Yeah, I love the draft. I can't wait for this day.
Yeah, just gonna be awesome.
Yeah. So a little rumor. The word on the street is Dable prefers Jackson Dart as to any of the other quarterbacks that are available. So I really don't know what the Giants are gonna do after pick 3, and I'm really excited to see how it's gonna go. Everyone has their theories. I expect them to trade up from pick 34. So don't go to bed if you're a Giants fan after the 3rd overall pick. I would stay up to continue how it falls into place.
Yes, sir. Should we?
Let's play a couple voicemails. Then we'll get into the Jets.
We have a couple draft voicemails, so we'll get into those. Some of our other ones we'll get into a little bit later.
What's up, guys? Kevin from Myrtle Beach here. Just on your thoughts on this breaking news I heard about the draft. I'll read the tweet out for you. So sources say that NFL teams are losing faith in Miami quarterback Cam Ward after finding out that none of his teammates went to his birthday party this year. Just want to get your guys' thoughts on this and how this could mix up the draft. Thanks.
Thank you for the call, Kevin. If you understand that knowledge, you got elite movie knowledge as in the movie Draft Day. Bo Callahan, the number 1 overall pick, supposed to be, doesn't go number 1 because his teammates didn't go to his 21st birthday party. I'm not even joking. That's how the movie's plotted.
Yeah, that was one of the craziest, not crazy, but
it's the stupidest movie. It's the most unrealistic sports movie ever. But
seen.
I heard Miami hates Cam Ward. Thanks for the call, Kevin. And Cam Ward is going to fall 7 spots in the draft, and the Titans are going to take a 6-foot, 220-pound linebacker at number 1 instead.
7 spots to the Jets, maybe.
Yeah. Oh my God, that movie's horrible. Watch that. If you got a couple hours, Watch Draft Day after you listen to this podcast. It is a laugh of the most unrealistic sports movie you could possibly watch. I watched it today.
Yeah, I was gonna say you watched that today, right?
Draft Day. It's a yearly tradition, man.
What's it on? I got.
It's on
Amazon.
It's on Peacock. Plus.
Oh, okay.
I have that.
I might have Peacock.
You can look it up.
All right. Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
It's so
I've
unrealistic.
watched it before, but I haven't watched it in years. So.
It's really funny though, and the amount of random actors in it. Arian Foster's one of the actors.
Yes.
Diddy is one of the actors. But all right, moving on from the horrible movie Draft Day. Hey, maybe Joe Shane could pull Kevin Costner and do some crazy stuff. Let's talk some Jets. So, how you feel with the Jets? Day out from the draft.
All right. So, there's two players here. I feel like it's either going to be Tyler Warren or Armand Membu. Warren, obviously, the tight end from Penn State. He can line up anywhere, literally lined up at the tight end spot, in the slot, out wide, in the backfield, at quarterback. He's just a total weapon, and he can also block a defensive end. Membu, not Memboom, is kind of like an anchor right or left tackle. He probably would be the Jets' right tackle. Him and Olu, who we drafted last year in the top 10, those would be our two tackles of the future, kind of solidifying this line and give it top 10 offensive line upside. I really want Tyler Warren just because last year it seemed like we were going to go Brock Bowers, and we passed on him for Olu, which was a great pick, but I feel like this would be the year that we go get Tyler Warren.
Are you a little worried it's a makeup pick in a way?
No, I did say this last
you did
last
say
week
that.
or two, but you were the kind of the one that turned me off of that. I think he just is the right pick because he would give Justin Fields another weapon. Jared Goff, who this whole Lions coaching staff is coming from there to the Jets here now this year. He targeted his tight end a lot, and Tanner Enstrain is the new offensive coordinator. So I think he would want a nice big tight end weapon. This tight end class is pretty deep from what I've been seeing. I think if the Jets don't get Tyler Warren at 7 and they do pick Membu, they would pick this tight end from Oregon. His last name's Ferguson in the 2nd round.
Okay.
But
so you're feeling one of these two guys.
Yes, I really like Warren. Also, Jalen Walker from Georgia has been getting some steam. He's kind of a linebacker edge hybrid. And this corner from Texas, it seems kind of like smoke and not like nothing behind this, has been getting a lot of steam also.
Okay, gotcha. So some couple storylines that you should be looking out for during the NFL draft. First off, Shedeur Sanders. I think that's going to be the most intriguing storyline because at this point, it is anyone's best guess what pick he is. He could really go from pick 3 to pick 25 somehow. I don't think it'll be pick 3, but like it's insane. Really, you have no idea where he's going to get drafted. And honestly, like if I had to guess a favorite for him right now, I think I'd say the Steelers.
I would too at 20.
20.
Yeah, 20. Right?
Yeah, pick 20. I mean, there's no one else. They don't have the Steelers don't have a quarterback. Mm-hmm. And if Sanders, so we're assuming he does not go 3, he doesn't go 9. There's not a team that's going to take him in between them.
And I don't think the Steelers can put all their eggs in the Rodgers basket at this point. Rodgers went on McAfee last week, kind of made a fool of himself a little bit. And I think that they got to be looking in another direction for now, unless Rodgers does come back and say, "Hey, I do want to play."
Did you hold on a little bit of the Aaron Rodgers thing? Did you see his comments about the Jets?
Yeah, that he had like a 20-second, basically.
Yeah, he kind of just shit on Glenn and Moogie and said they were kind of disrespectful to him. You just so over this guy.
What I took away from that was Aaron Glenn was like, "Hey, do you want to play here?" And Rodgers was like, "Oh, yeah, well, I'm open to it. Maybe we'll see." And then Glenn was like, "Okay, we're moving in a different direction." I think if Aaron Rodgers came in, and I don't think there was ever a chance of Rodgers coming back.
Yes.
I think Aaron Glenn had his mind made up, but always wanted to meet with Rodgers, and that meeting gave Aaron Glenn all he needed to be like, "Okay, let's move on from him." if Rodgers came in and said, "Hey, I really see this vision. I want to be here. I want to be a Jet. I'm all in." I think Glenn still would have been like, "Hey, we're not." But I think Glenn wanted to meet with Rodgers to see, and
I kind of see both sides to what happened. Look, when you have someone that big of a figure in the sport of football, you feel like you should pay them respect to be in an in-person meeting. But what was said, and like, yeah, you made the guy travel far. It's a phone call. That's my thing with it. Like,
if it was a phone call, Rodgers would be on McAfee saying they couldn't even give me the time of day to meet with me.
Yeah, you know? I mean, you're right. Who knows? Like, it's tough to like take Aaron Rodgers' side in anything without hearing the other side of the story. I don't think the Jets have responded, which they shouldn't.
They should not.
There's no one. There's no reason.
And that's
to
another
get
thing.
In this.
Another takeaway of the Jets' offseason so far is in years past there are leaks for every little thing. There's been no leaks, and yeah, it's been a clean offseason so far from Muji and Aaron Glenn.
Another point of the draft. Obviously, it's a 7 rounds. Look, we're not going to tell you who each of our teams should target in day 2 and day 3.
Yeah.
That we're not draft analysts. But what positions do you want to see filled by the Jets in day 2, day 3 of the draft?
I think the Jets need to shore up their secondary, specifically safety. They signed Andre Sisco from the Jaguars. He's a New York guy. Went to St. Anthony's, went to Syracuse. But I think they need to shore that up. I also do think they need to draft a wide receiver. They have Garrett Wilson and Mekhi Corley. They don't really have anyone beyond that. They have Lazard. Just something interesting. Might be getting a little bit away from the question a little bit. There have been some Breece Hall rumors, like trade rumors. And I think that would just be dumb. I think just stick with Breece Hall. I don't know why you would want to trade him.
So I think the only way they trade him is if Genty falls to them. There's a lot of Genty hype right now. Okay. I think Genty's going number 5.
I wanted to bring up Genty.
That's the second storyline I'm looking at for the draft, where he goes.
Number 5 is Jaguars, correct?
Yes. Apparently Liam Cohen loves him.
And I think that would be such a Jaguars pick because I think that would be the wrong pick.
Yeah, I kind of don't want Genty to go there. I would love to see Genty to fall to the Bears. That's not going to happen. I think the Bears are going to have to trade up. I think you could see some trades from picks 4 through 10 after the top 3 goes. And I wonder if New England has a little hope that the Giants might just take Shedeur Sanders or something, and then they could get Abdul Carter. I'm wondering who's the 4th pick supposed to be? Like, it's anyone's guess.
I think it's going to be Will Campbell, the guy from LSU.
Okay.
But I think I think Genty to the Patriots would be a good pick, but I think Genty to the Jaguars would be a bad pick because if you're the Jaguars, you already have Etienne, who is supposed to be your quote-unquote game changer, weapon back, and for a young quarterback in Lawrence, who
I'm not calling him young anymore.
I was just about to say he's getting out of that young age, but for someone like Drake May, getting a young weapon like that would be great because he's like a safety valve in the passing game. He's a explosive running back. But for someone like Lawrence, you already have that player is supposed to be in ETN, you know?
Yeah, I think Genty's a much more talented. He's probably the most talented running back since Saquon going into the draft. And I think a lot of these teams are going to be so high on him. I just think they see this superstar talented running back. They've seen what happened with Saquon this year, Derrick Henry this year. And there's a little bit of the running back hype coming back to the league right now, which is good for the position and the contracts. I'm a little against all this running back hype right now. I think you could find very talented guys cheap in free agency and later in the draft.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think a lot of these teams really want Genty, and you're going to see a little bit of a trade war possibly for him. I wonder if that could happen. That'd be a fun storyline to watch.
That would be. I think Genty ultimately does end up going to Jacksonville, but I think where he should end up is 6 to the Raiders.
Yeah, that's, I think, the favorites right now. I'm not sure the exact lines, but that's been the heavily rumored one.
But then, say the Patriots get Campbell, the Jags get Genty, then the Raiders would probably go get Membu, and then the Jets would have a toss-up between Tyler Warren and Jalen Walker.
All right. I just thought of a draft, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Quarterbacks wise, is there a higher chance there's one quarterback taken tomorrow or 4?
4.
Okay.
4 for sure, because I think Shedeur goes. It just depends where. And he's not falling past the Steelers, in my opinion.
Okay, 1 through 10. How hot of a take is it that Dart goes before Sanders? Think there's any chance?
11.
Okay, you think there's
I don't
chance?
think he will. He could.
He
could.
I don't think he will either. I think it will be so. Like, if I have to guess, Sanders goes in that. I have a feeling someone's going to trade up, and it could a team like the Giants maybe that are like, oh, it's pick 13, or the Browns even. They're like, this guy's still available. We almost thought about taking this guy
with
in
our
second,
pick.
third overall pick. And the Giants and Browns are going to be in a bit of a bidding war, especially the Giants, because the Browns have picked 33. So they're going to have a selection of whoever survives the quarterbacks in the first round. So that's why I really think the Giants are going to try to trade up. But if you're the Giants, you've thought of Shedeur Sanders at 3. Clearly they like him a lot. If he's there, like pick 15, I wonder if this could happen. So they take Abdul Carter, right? Mm-hmm. What if they package Kayvon Thibodeau in a trade tomorrow to move up? I could see it. I don't really see why you'd keep Kayvon Thibodeau if you have Brian Burns and Abdul Carter. I'm kind of intrigued if that could help them move up and saving a 3rd round pick or something. You still probably have to give up pick 34, but you could save some other assets.
Because you are essentially replacing Thibodeau. And then you don't have to extend him or worry about.
They should not extend him. I'm not going to call him a bust, but he's not.
But he's not a good player.
He's not been worthy of the 5th overall pick.
I think Sanders ultimately ends up a Steeler as of right now.
I think it's Steelers, Browns, or Giants, right?
Yeah.
Unless a mystery team comes in, Dallas. Imagine that.
But if say
they won't do that, right?
Say Dallas came in, I feel like Say I don't know the scenario. I feel like if Dallas came in and traded up and drafted Shedeur, it would be some crazy out of nowhere blockbuster trade.
They don't have to trade up. They got pick 12. He would just fall to them, I think.
That's true. But then
it'd be crazy if they took him.
Do they move on from Dak or do they sit? Because I feel like Shedeur is day one ready. He's not going to be.
I disagree.
He's not a superstar from day one, but I feel like he's a day one starter.
I don't think he's not starting on any of these teams but the Browns if he gets drafted by them. Giants, he wouldn't start on day one. Steelers,
he probably
I'm still assuming Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers at this point.
Okay.
So I think he'd sit. Browns, he would play day one. That's the only one. Which the Browns really need a quarterback.
And also the Cowboys just extended Dak recently.
You're right.
So
it could be a Cowboys thing.
But it would be a Cowboys thing. Like they wanted, and comparing Johnny Manziel to Shedeur Sanders is kind of an insult to Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
But they wanted Johnny Manziel back in the day, and it's not comparing the player or their personality.
That's not a crazy comparison.
It's comparing the brand, like the jersey sales.
Remember Manziel was supposed to go 1 at one point?
Yes.
That Shedeur was when the Giants were gonna have the number 1 overall pick for a bit. It was the tank for Shedeur. I would have thought. I remember we had the 3rd overall pick. I thought Shedeur wouldn't fall to us at 3. His stock is just taking a plummet, and it's kind of crazy to see this play out because there's a chance this guy really might have a long day tomorrow, and I'm gonna feel bad for the kid. Because all the cameras are going to be on. I don't think he's actually on the draft, but there'll be a camera set up in his house. I think he's staying.
Yeah.
But
his stock has taken a hit to the point where now he's being underrated.
I agree, and I'm sitting here as a Giants fan. Look, we a month or two ago I thought this guy was going to be our 3rd overall pick. Now there's a chance we get him pick 17 or something like that. I mean, I'd be happy as a fan. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It'd be fun. I mean, if we walked away with Abdul Carter and Shedeur Sanders, I'd be pretty happy. Abdul Carter in any court, honestly, at this point.
It feels at this point if the Giants took him at 3, it'd almost be a reach. Because
I really don't think they're taking him at 3. Abdul Carter literally just said, I saw a video. He's like, yeah, I think I'm going to New York. Like,
and
he's
Abdul
like,
Carter
I'm excited.
Is going to be like the next Micah Parsons, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
they're going to be disgusting.
They're going to have a great edge rusher. I'm excited to see him.
There's a good chance the Jets and Giants both take
Penn State guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like I am 99% confident Abdul Carter is the third overall pick tomorrow. Like, it's all the signs are pointing towards that. The New York Giants historically have great edge rushers: Lawrence Taylor, Michael Strahan, Justin Tuck. This could be the next one. And this is a player to be excited. This guy is Hall of Fame potential talent. This isn't just like. And at this point, with seeing the quarterbacks in this draft, you can't pass up on them.
No way.
You can't. You got to take Abdul Carter. And normally, I'm the type of guy where I believe if you really love a quarterback, don't take him. I mean, take him when you have the chance. I mean, you don't want to risk it. Yeah. But I don't think they love any of these quarterbacks. I think they're gonna take one in their second pick, whatever pick that ends up being. I just don't think you can pass on Abdul Carter. It's just the best move for the franchise, and this is a guy you could build your defense off of for years, and it's an exciting player to watch.
Yeah, another big defensive guy that I think could be in play for the Jets is Mason Graham. He's a he's a D tackle from Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
He from things I've watched, they've compared him to Christian Wilkins.
Okay,
he's got these shorter arms. Just watching him on film, he eats up blocks and is great in the run game. He's smaller, fast. He, on film, from what I've seen, he reminds me a little bit of Aaron Donald, but I think that's just like the body type.
Because he's not like big like Dexter Lawrence. Like he's a smaller D tackle.
Yeah.
No, not smaller, but he's not like one of those big nose guards.
He's more compact and shorter arms.
He'll be able to stay in the field longer.
But if you could pair him with Quinn Williams, like that's pretty nasty.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's gonna be a very good player, Mason Graham. I really like what I saw.
It also just feels like this draft is deep. So like even if
I think the draft's such a mystery after pick 3. I really have no idea what's happening after
But
this.
from everything I've seen, so like if the Jets don't get Tyler Warren at 7, there's chances for them to get a quality tight end later on. If the Jets don't get Membu at 7, there's chances for them to get a quality lineman later on, and same thing for Mason Graham. The one thing that I think other teams do so well that the Jets don't do is in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, they go and get their
starters,
offensive tackle. Not their future starters.
Very important picks.
Yeah, and just something that the Jets have never in my lifetime really been able to do. They never can go out and find diamond in the rough. You know, you see the Patriots are a great example with like Rob Gronkowski. You know, they get their Julian Edelmans, Wes Welkers, like guys like that. They just draft well.
I really like watching day 2 of the draft. I don't know why that, because like 2nd and 3rd round picks are still very, very important, and those guys are typically almost starters day 1 unless they're a quarterback. And like, you find a lot of good players there. There's always a few guys that fall that are supposed to be first rounders, and it's always fun when your team gets a guy that was supposed to go in the first round.
And you're watching being like, oh, I thought this guy would go in the mid-20s, and you're down in the mid-40s, and you're just kind of like holding your breath, being like, I hope he falls to my team.
All right, I have a little. I don't know why I just thought of this, but this is don't be that guy on draft day if you're watching with a group that has Twitter notifications on and is spoiling every single pick. Don't be that guy. If you are a loser and sit at home in your room alone and don't even watch the draft. I hate when people do that. They're like, oh, I knew the pick, and then like because it's 5 minutes ahead. First off, they gotta stop. They gotta stop letting like Schefter and Rappaport and these reporters tweet that. It ruins the point of the draft. During the draft, I don't even go on my phone during the draft because you'll just see the pick 2 picks ahead.
Do not disturb.
I just hate when people do that.
I got something in my phone.
Yeah, you're good. But I just thought of that because I'll put my phone in airplane mode. I won't even go on my phone for hours. I'll just watch the draft. But everyone's been there when somebody ruins the pick or sends in the group chat too early. Like, dude, like, get a life.
And it's especially worse now with like watching on something like Hulu Live or something.
It's delayed.
It's way more delayed than cable. So,
all right, let's move on to a voicemail. Then we can talk a little baseball and a little basketball.
Yes, sir.
Hey guys, Kevin from Myrtle Beach. I got a twofer for you.
Kevin again.
For the first question, if there is one team in the top 10 of the NFL draft that is going to trade out of the top 10, who do you think it would be? And next question is, there is a team that would trade up into the top 10, which team do you think that would be? Thank you.
I think the Bears would trade up if they could, because I think the Bears would want Ashton Genty. Trade down. I still think I'm gonna go New England. I don't know if they love that 4 spot with Abdul Carter getting taken off the board.
I was just thinking New England, maybe the Raiders, not 9 as the Panthers. Right?
Raiders. Well, look, for the Raiders, I kind of like that one too, for the trade down, because like if they don't get Genty,
if they don't get
what
Genty,
do you do?
then I see that being the case. Trading up, I like the Bears. I also like the Steelers. If they think they gotta trade up to get Shedeur.
I like both the Giants and Browns as well. I think both of them are not done after their first picks. Other trades,
although, so the Giants have obviously 3, and then their next pick is 34.
Yes.
Trading from 34 to say 8 or 9.
That's not gonna happen.
That's a long jump. So maybe not up in the top 10, but I can see them trading back up to the top 20.
I should have
15.
reiterated what I meant. Saints could trade down maybe if they really don't want a quarterback. I don't know what the Saints are going to do. That's another interesting one.
The Saints are at 9, right?
Yeah, Saints are
I
at
just
9.
said Panthers.
Saints, I think Panthers at 8.
Okay.
Yeah. Panthers are in there. But Saints are in. I really don't know what that team's going to do. I'm not sure who they're targeting.
They have no direction.
I feel like that organization is just a mess.
Dude, it is. They have no direction. They're in cap space hell.
Who's their starting quarterback?
Yeah,
is it
Derek Carr might not be ready.
Is it Rattler? Yeah. I was about to say I had to remember he was even on the team.
Or did they have that Rippin guy? I feel like you know what I'm talking about. He might have been in Denver. I don't know.
I'm not gonna roll Dart to the Saints. I think the Saints could be the team that would take Dart over Shedeur.
Yeah, and for Dart coming from Ole Miss, it's in that general area. I could see that totally happening. So
that's definitely a pick I'm looking for, because if a quarterback doesn't go, then you gotta look. I mean, you really gotta. I don't think the teams that are there are gonna take one unless a trade happens.
And I could see Shedeur being the pick for the Saints.
Yeah, you can't. I've been listening to the ESPN guys daily. They've been saying the Saints are not in on Shedeur, but you can't say no. You just don't know. It's the draft.
Yeah, they might be saying that he's not in. There has been a lot of hype about Shedeur to teams like the Raiders or the Saints. I feel like Shedeur would almost be a pick where they're like, let's just do this and see what happens. It'd be good for marketing and jersey sales and that sort of thing. And I don't know.
I hope not. I hope whoever takes Shedeur believes in him.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I'm a Shedeur
somewhere.
Sanders fan. I don't want to see this guy just get taken and get. That's why I think Pittsburgh might be the best spot for him, because
they have 2.
If he goes to New York, by the time he makes his first start, let's just say it might not even be the coach and GM that got him.
That's true.
In the Steelers, you're in a stabilized spot with Mike Tomlin, and if Rodgers goes, you can learn under a first ballot Hall of Famer for a year. And you don't look. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is the mentoring type, but you can watch what that guy does and learn a lot.
Yeah,
but
and it seems like Rodgers is a good mentor. Jordan Love.
Yeah, Jordan Love, exactly.
Always had good things to say about him, and that he was always welcoming, because Rodgers almost felt slighted by, not slighted, but felt like Brett Favre wasn't super warm to him. So it seemed like he was always trying to be warm to Jordan Love in a sense.
I wonder if a team these are 2 teams I'm thinking of that have shorter term contracts with quarterbacks. Could the Raiders and Seahawks do something surprising? I know they got Darnold and Geno Smith, but those aren't franchise quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Could one of those teams take a Jalen Milroe? That's what I see Miller as the most project quarterback that's going to get taken, which to me, Jalen Milroe shouldn't play.
Do you think he goes in the first round? Because he was one of those guys, and he was invited to the draft, and I think he's going, but he feels almost like he was invited to the draft so that they could have someone to pander the camera to all night.
I think he's going first round.
Okay.
And I think it'll be the last quarterback taken.
So it'd be Ward, Sanders, Dart, Milroe.
And then it could be the Louisville guy. I've seen a lot of hype on him, too.
The Louisville guy really feels like someone they're hyping up.
This is Adam. He's 26, too.
Who?
Apparently, if he was younger, he'd be top 10 pick. I honestly don't know much about him.
But a 26-year-old quarterback that, he is who he is. There's no.
Penix was older.
but not 26.
Yeah, 26 is old.
This is
right.
like Brandon. Wasn't Brandon Whedon like 28?
26 is old. That's old. You're right. I think so for guys like Milroe and the Louisville guy, I think these quarterbacks got to get taken earlier.
Brandon Whedon was 28 when he got drafted by the Browns.
That's insane.
And what? He was a first-round pick,
yes.
Right?
But if Sanders and Dart fall to the late teens and 20s, then I'm not feeling too confident that Milroe is going to get drafted first round. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so then. But if Sanders goes top 10 and then and then Dart goes 20, then I think for sure he's going in those last 12 picks.
Also,
but
I don't know. I definitely don't see. I mean, this is kind of random, but Milroe had been linked to the Jets a little bit earlier on during the season. I don't see that happening at all because I don't think he fits Aaron Glenn's almost like quote unquote mentality.
Oh, I like. You don't like Milroe's like personality?
No, he kind of got dragged during the season.
He didn't have a good year.
Filming NIL stuff before games, running out of the tunnel.
That's fair.
Stuff. It's not huge problems, but it's little things that if he made it a problem, I think Aaron Glenn would rather not deal with that. I think Aaron Glenn is 110% football and doesn't want any other distractions or anything like that.
That's fair. We'll see. Everyone's got their theories. I mean, I'm sure you guys are disagreeing with a lot of stuff we're saying. Draft's such a fun day. It's very cool to see these guys get drafted. A once-a-year thing that's just always one of my favorite days of the sports year for me. Let's move on. Let's get into voicemail and into some baseball.
Yes, sir.
Red Hot Mets.
Chris from Rochester. Just a couple questions about the draft.
I like it.
Where do you see Shadar Sanders going? Do you see him potentially at all dropping out of the first round, or do you think if he's there at 21, the Steelers take him? Who do you think the Jets and the Giants take? And who do you think may be the biggest surprise taken way earlier than he should have? And who besides Sanders may fall the farthest than he should have? And by the way, let's go Mets.
So I think Sanders is going to your Steelers. We said Abdul Carter. And who's your official pick? I don't think you gave it an official. Like
For the Giants?
For the Jets.
Oh, for the Jets, Tyler Warren.
Yeah, I'm going to go Warren, too. And then
actually, I think it's going to be Membu.
I think it's going to be Warren.
Me as a fan, I want Warren.
And then Giants are, you think, leaning
Carter.
Abdul.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think Sanders isn't falling in the first round. I think that's a little ridiculous. That I think no other quarterback would have got taken then if Sanders falls in the first round. And everyone would have gotten cold feet in these quarterbacks.
If Sanders falls out of the first round,
then the Giants and Browns are the biggest winners of this draft.
Yeah.
Probably the Browns then.
Also, some random breaking news right now. Not random, but breaking news right now.
Let's hear it.
Jason Tatum ruled out for Game 2 against the
Yeah,
Magic.
he was doubtful.
Okay.
So that's the only playoff injury, which it's a wrist thing. Boston's so good where they could afford him missing a game or two. But, yeah, you never like to see players hurt in the playoffs. But,
yeah.
Okay, back to the question. Who else could fall? So Genty, I kind of think Genty's getting taken too high. If he ends up going top 5.
Yeah,
I don't think you should take a running back.
He's someone who I could see falling. Maybe.
Like I'm saying, like that's the guy that shouldn't go too high.
Okay.
A lot of these quarterbacks, I think you can argue, shouldn't be. If Dart ends up in the top 20, I think you can argue
that
Milroe. I don't think Milroe should be a first-round pick. I don't think he's a first-round pick quarterback. Yeah. If you look at the quarterbacks last year, I don't think he's even close.
Yeah, I don't like Milroe.
Who's a guy that could fall? I'm trying to think. Let me think.
The Ohio State I forget his name. His name's slipping my mind. But this tackle who he had a patellar tendon injury. And just on paper, they were saying like he's the best tackle or like best offensive lineman prospect in the draft probably. But he has some character concerns and some injury concerns, so that could be someone who could fall.
Yeah, okay.
His name's totally slipping my mind right now, but
yeah, thanks for the phone call though. Definitely looking for I don't think Shadar falls first round. I don't see that.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, no way.
There's no way.
You want to move on to some baseball?
Yeah.
So let's lead off with the Mets. The Mets look awesome. I mean, they are just a really good baseball team right now. They're 18-7 on a 7-game win streak. They just swept the Phillies, who they've kind of just owned since the playoffs last year. But that's a good quality team.
Yeah, good baseball team.
Pete Alonso and Lindor have been on fire. I mean, Alonso's making a lot of money this offseason if he keeps this up. I think he leads the MLB in RBIs. Maybe Judge might have him. They're close. But Alonso might win the MVP in the National League at this point. Fernando Tatis probably. But yeah, I mean the Mets look great. Like I don't have a lot of negative things to say about them right now.
Yeah.
Juan Soto, who still hasn't been in his stride, that's really the only down part of the team right now.
Yeah, they've looked great in spite of Juan Soto, which honestly is
a good thing.
Good thing, because once he starts hitting a stride, this lineup's going to look really nice. And Soto he leads the team in walks, still getting on base a good amount, but he's hitting like 230.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the Mets have the best pitching in baseball right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they're kind of turning into what the Brewers were. Like they're bringing small market into a big market, and it's a really good combination. And I know big market teams hate hearing this, and the fans hate hearing this, but what the Mets are doing is genius. They're bringing small market into a big market. And look, pitchers get hurt, and it's tough to give them long-term deals, and it's hard to argue with the Mets right now. At this point, they are tied for the best league in the MLB. Their pitchers are great. Whatever they're doing, those pitchers, it's really working, and it's good for the Mets. I mean, there's not much bad I could say about them at all.
They've put themselves so far to start the year, they've put themselves in a good position. We'll see.
Starting to run away at the NL East. It's early, but
it is early.
They got a comfortable.
We'll see how they hold up, but
long season.
This puts them in a good position for the trade deadline, where they won't have as many holes to fill.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? One more thing about the Mets. And then they're starting to get healthier. Jeff McNeil, I saw, made a rehab start with Francisco Alvarez, who both those guys will play a lot. Alvarez will return to starting. And they're still, if Sean Manaea is not pitching yet, and then Frankie Montas isn't pitching yet, they still got more coming. I mean, look out for the Mets.
They put themselves in a great position.
Great start to the year. Our Yankees, 15-10 right now, first place in the American League. The goods are good for the Yankees.
Yeah,
but the bads are bad. That's the best way I could say.
And there isn't much bad that's turned into good besides Carlos Rodon his last two starts. I mean,
who we're hard on.
As much as we love to drag Rodon, his last two starts today, he had a really good start, and he gave up one run, and it was really Cody Bellinger's fault. Cody Bellinger had a bad error. Even after that, Rodon fielded a little dribbler right in front of him, bobbled it, threw it to first. The runner was called safe, and you could see Rodon starting to talk to himself. And in my head, I was like, "Oh shit, this is gonna totally unravel." And it didn't. He pitched really well today. So
yeah, I mean he's pitched really well his last two games. He actually owns Cleveland. He always pitches really well against them.
And their last game against the Rays, I feel like you always have to get out to a big lead when we have Rodon on the mound, because you have to instill some confidence in him, give him some insurance. The game against Tampa Bay, we won 1-0.
That's all him. And then even this game, he won us this game. We pitched great.
Mm-hmm. So as much as we love to drag and everything, when he pitches like this, we give him his credit.
What's your concern level for Devin Williams? 1 through 10.
I would say a 6. Higher than being neutral, but it's still very early.
I'm worried. I'm not gonna lie. He's getting hit, and he's not. People aren't swinging and missing on his pitches, and I'm a little concerned. He's not impressed me at all. He's been pretty bad, frankly. He lost an 8-4 game. We should have swept the Rays, and.
Yeah, that was a really, really bad.
It's all offseason we said, games like that Holmes would blow, we don't expect anymore with Williams.
It almost makes you think.
I'm worried.
It almost makes you think if the Brewers saw something that no one else saw, being
no, they weren't going to pay him. That's all that was.
Okay.
But you never know. You could be onto something, but I don't think
because
so.
They didn't think he was worth the money. I know they were small.
Brewers don't pay. They were never going to pay him, but it's definitely a little concerning, and it's something to watch out for. Look, like we said, the goods, Aaron Judge is hitting over 400. This guy is just gonna. I saw he's minus 350 to win the MVP, which is just absurd. In not even May, this guy's gonna win another MVP if he's healthy. Ben Rice, the emergence of him has been huge, and Paul Goldschmidt. I mean, wow, I did not expect this.
Turning back
this guy's just a hitting machine.
Yeah,
but the depth that we talked about that was there is really starting to slip away. Chisholm is home run or nothing. Bellinger's been nothing. Wells, his average is bad. Volpe
and
sucks.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get worried. This is just who Anthony Volpe is going to be. A good defender, but he can't hit, and he can't hit a fastball right now.
Well,
and that is concerning.
We've been talking about Volpe, obviously not on air, but the Yankees almost put themselves in a bad position with him because the last couple of years, besides the postseason and some stretches, he was not ready to come up, and he still shouldn't be up. But
you can argue that's crazy.
But what you did with him is you've eaten up 3 years of his service time. So the Yankees in the next year or two kind of have to make a decision like, hey, are we going to keep him or are we going to trade him? And they lost all control of him, and he's still very young, but he won't have a chance to develop with the Yankees.
Can't hit
if he
doesn't
turn around quickly.
And I think so many casual fans are like, they're gonna hear this like, what? Why do you guys want to give up Anthony Volpe? I feel like
the way
it's
contracts work.
Yankee fans have a soft spot for him because he's a hometown kid. Felt nice, grew up a Yankee fan, but this guy can't hit, and I'm really starting to get worried. That's just who he is as a player, and I'm not happy with how he's performing. Chisholm, I mean,
I don't think this is who Volpe is as a player, but like it's just
not you're this bad. You're right.
You're at a crossroads with
220, 230, 15, 20 home runs. That's not gonna cut it. A less than 700 OPS. He doesn't walk a lot. It's not gonna cut it. Jazz Chisholm. Look, I mean, the highs are fun with him. Like I was really kind of glazing him when he had that stretch. But my God, this dude just swings for the fences every time he's up, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, the lows are bad, and his mouth, like not his mouth, his fingers. He can't stay off the Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, and Dominguez hasn't been great, but at least he's kind of consistent. 225 over 700 OPS. I'll take that for his
Dominguez
age.
overall has been a positive.
Yeah, I mean, but the Yankees have guys that are hitting great, but they have. So Volpe's got to be in the 100s now.
Yeah.
Chisholm and Bellinger and Wells all are.
Yeah. And the thing about Wells is when he came up last year, they were like, we're not sure if this guy's a catcher, but he's a hitter. And he's actually been the complete opposite. They're like, oh, maybe he can play first base. Maybe he can play somewhere in the outfield. But he's definitely a hitter.
Yeah.
And he's not. Wells also can't catch up to fast pitches. He's constantly
last year in the playoffs, that's all they were throwing, the high fastballs. Max Fried, I mean, like we said, Max Fried's been everything and more the Yankees could ask for. He's just an automatic win. I mean, the rotation is starting to pick it up. That was a really big concern.
Yeah.
If Rodon is able to pitch, well, he's not going to be able to pitch like this, but if he's able to pitch somewhat consistent with Max Fried pitch like this, it just helps the Yankees. So, dude, I feel like every time Will Warren pitches, the Yankees just screw him over. Whether it's a horrible offensive game or a defensive game like yesterday.
Like his first start,
the Diamondbacks game.
Yeah, who made the error? Someone made an error.
I remember that one where Mark Leiter gave up the grand slam. They should have won that game. But I like the stuff. Cookie Carrasco didn't pitch bad the last time he pitched. So the starters are starting to pitch a bit better. Bats are really starting to cool down. Besides Judge, I mean Aaron Judge, this guy, I gotta give this. He's all right. I gotta give Aaron Judge more flack. This guy is just one of the best ever. I mean, the guy just hits everything. Right now, he hasn't a home run in 16 games, I think, but he's hitting
like over 400.
He's hitting like 420 now.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous for a power hitter. He's a hitting machine.
Right now, he's hitting 415. I saw it was either coming into the game today or after his first hit in the game today. He was hitting 424, and so the tweet said something along the lines of, "This is about the latest in the season where you'll see someone's batting average being higher than the date. So the date today is 423, and he was hitting 424.
Dude, that guy's ridiculous. Like,
He is.
He's so good, and I feel bad. Well, why do I feel like every guy that hits behind Aaron Judge sucks? Like, why? Cody Bellinger's been awful. Aaron Judge is getting on base, it feels like every at bat, and this guy can't hit. I feel like you got to change up the lineup. Get Bellinger out of the 3-hole. The guy's not hitting at all.
Yeah, you kind of have to put someone who is hitting behind Judge, someone who's hitting in front of Judge, and someone who's hitting behind Judge. So you.
That's not that crazy of an ass, dude. Like it's. I know it sounds crazy, but like, the Yankees have one of these guys should be able to do it.
I mean, Dominguez batting 234, but like you would take that from him.
Yes. I think they're gonna keep him down there. I mean, Bellinger has to step it up. Bellinger and Chisholm, these guys have to be better.
Yeah.
Volpe got to be better. Wells got to be better. No,
And
just
Bellinger.
that's all I can say.
Bellinger's like made of glass too. He fouled
I saw that, dude.
a pitch off his shin today. He stayed in the game, but like getting checked out by trainers. He's been having the back issue, the food poisoning. Also, Austin Wells had food poisoning.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with food poisoning with the Yankees. Bellinger, he's had a bad month.
Yeah.
First month of the year. I feel like he hasn't been able to get in a routine. Look, again, like we got to reiterate this, but it's still so early in the season. But it's frustrating seeing these guys hitting the 100s.
How about Trent Grisham though? He's still like it wasn't just a
I
first
know.
2 weeks of the season.
I kind of want him to play more.
Yeah, they got to find a spot for him.
Where?
Somewhere.
They need a third baseman. Well, infield wise, Volpe and Chisholm haven't had a day off. I think those guys are kind of due for a day off. They're both really struggling hitting wise, so give them a day to regroup. I don't know though, dude. We have I don't know where Grisham can't. He's not gonna play every day, unfortunately. I mean, all right, that's crazy to say. Unfortunately, right now
with Bellinger, like you said, he hasn't really gotten into a routine or anything. You kind of can't pull him because
right, like you just gotta keep getting him at bats. I don't know.
And Goldschmidt's been hitting the ball well.
Not gonna take him out of the lineup.
Take him out.
Rice, you want to play as much as possible.
Rice is gonna be the everyday DH.
Yeah.
For now, still, it's hard to find Trent Grisham.
I don't know. Yankees is first place. I'm happy.
Trent Grisham,
I'm not thrilled.
Trent Grisham just went on the paternity list. Dude, there's been
why are
so
all these
many
people having kids now?
Food poisoning, paternity.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that you can't control is
Even
getting
last
in the way
year,
of these routines.
I feel like you can go 10 years without someone going on the paternity list. Last year, Verdugo went on the paternity list. This year,
that was low key the start of his downfall.
Yeah, because during that time he was hitting cleanup and he was hitting well, and then he went on the paternity list before the Orioles series, and either Judge got hurt and I don't think played in that series. Last year I always said, and it was literally just the Orioles and the Dodgers series. Those were only two, but it made me say this. I said before every big series, someone gets hurt, and then we're not at full strength for those series.
That did feel like that a little bit last year. Want to get a few more voicemails?
Yeah.
We could move on to some NBA.
Hey, this is Teddy from Jersey. I just got a question about the Knicks. If they get bounced in the second round against the Celtics, do you think they get rid of Thibodeau and hire this guy from Denver? Thanks.
Thanks for the phone call. That's a very realistic option. I think the Knicks are kind of in a weird spot. I haven't loved the way they looked against Detroit. They've honestly, if Detroit wasn't so inexperienced, I think you can have a very good argument they should be down 0-2 right now. They blew game one, and the Knicks are still going to win the series, in my opinion, just because Detroit doesn't know how to play basketball late in the games. But yeah, I think Tibbs low key might be gone after this year, and I think Michael Malone would be the heavy favorite to take over that job.
I can see that too. Also, this Knicks team does not fit the typical Tibbs identity of defense.
Not at all.
And we've said this time and time again, they screwed themselves on the Mikal Bridges trade.
They went big at the wrong time. Giannis is going to be available this summer, likely.
Not even that it was the wrong time. It was just the wrong player. In no world is Mikal Bridges worth 5 first-round picks.
You could even argue Cat's the wrong player to trade for.
Yeah.
Cat is so frustrating to watch, dude.
They should have traded for one of those guys and not both of those guys. How is Mikal Bridges worth 5 first-round picks, but Cat's not? It felt like they wanted to solidify the Nova Knicks thing, and then Cat came available, and then they were like, okay, we'll involve DiVincenzo.
What happened was, it was a New York trade, which never happens. So it's gonna be more, and it came out of nowhere, and the Nets got a great package for Mikal Bridges, who might turn those first-round picks into Giannis next year, which is tip your hat to Sean Marks and Joe Shai over there. But
don't ever tip your hat
to Joe Shai.
Guys.
Yeah, all right. Come on, Henry. You got to be happy with the Mikal Bridges trade. As a Nets fan,
I hate those guys.
But I don't like the way this Knicks organization's headed towards. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of conversation this summer. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if they flip Cat, and that's what you could package with the Giannis, because
wait, I when they made the Cat trade, I saw something that it was a report that they
still haven't paid him.
That they went after Cat in attempt because that's the piece to flip for Giannis.
I would flip. I think if you flip Cat, I think Giannis or AD would be the guys you would try to do it for.
But do you think Dallas would move on?
No, because that's all Nico Harrison's defense is for trading Luka right now. Defense wins championships. Yeah. Davis would have to ask out.
Because do you think that would have been more realistic if Davis was still a Laker?
Yeah, because I think the Lakers would have been headed in a direction where LeBron would either retire or just, who knows, go back to Cleveland or something. And then, I think that could have happened. Or that would have just been a post-LeBron retirement thing for Davis.
And also Nico Harris. Harrison. Yeah. He's an idiot. Has just made himself look worse.
It's one of the worst sports PRs I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, but since we're talking some NBA, I've liked these playoffs so far. I think you got 5 really competitive series. Thunder, Grizzlies is not, and Cavs, Heat are not competitive, and even Orlando, Boston. But those other 5s, they're all gonna be fun, competitive series.
Do you think there's any chance with the Tatum injury that the Magic could go steal a couple games?
Yeah, but I don't.
But you don't think they could steal the series?
No. But Orlando could defend. They just can't keep up offensively. I could see a game.
Do you think
two?
Do you think the fact that
if they won tonight, I think they'd win one at home. Yeah, you'd be a little loud.
Do you think the fact that Tatum is missing a playoff game is concerning, or do you think the Celtics?
It's definitely concerning. It's a pain tolerance thing I saw.
Okay.
And which I always think in sports, and even especially basketball, that you'd rather a lower body you'd rather an upper body injury than lower body. But wrist is tough because I wonder how his shot would look. He could be a brick. If it's a pain tolerance thing, that's going to bother him while he's shooting.
I think in sports, if you're out for a pain tolerance thing, I think you're kind of just a bitch. I don't know.
It's not he must be in a lot of pain because I don't think it could get worse. I'm not 100%, but I saw Sham say it's a pain tolerance thing, and he's in extreme pain. It's a playoff game, but look,
But if it's a pain tolerance thing and your wrist isn't broken,
I think he's the only first option in the entire sport that could sit out a game in the playoffs because his team's fine.
Yeah,
like that. Boston's loaded. No other first option can do that. If it's a Jokic or a Luka or a Giannis or one of those guys, they're gonna have to play through it.
Yeah, because the Celtics are much more of a complete team than any other team in the NBA.
I kind of hope Orlando can make this a series because I love seeing competitive series.
And it's always nice to see the champion from last year fall. So especially early.
I don't want to see Boston just cakewalk because I think they're gonna smoke the Knicks in round 2. Yeah. I don't even know if the Knicks get a game off them. Assuming it's the Knicks, or if it's Detroit, doesn't matter. Knicks Detroit. I'd be worried if I was a Knicks fan. Knicks have not looked good. Detroit's gonna be rocking. This is the Pistons' first playoff win since 2008.
Yeah,
they've gotten swept. They've made it as an 8 or 7 seed. They've just gotten swept. They play tomorrow, I believe. These two teams. I think Okay, if I had to guess right now, I could just see it. Detroit's rocking. The Pistons win Game 3. Then I think the Knicks win 4 or 5. Pistons 6, and then it goes 7 and Knicks win. That's the way I can see it right now.
Some more Knicks news. Okay. Brunson was just named the clutch player of the year.
Congrats to him.
Yeah.
Speaking of not being clutch, I mean, Mikal Bridges and Cat were just horrible. And my biggest issue with Karl-Anthony Towns is I've never seen a guy that gets so checked out of games. And it's so frustrating watching him because he's, as he said himself, he's the greatest shooting big man ever. And he just looks so checked out of these playoff games at times because Detroit's a physical team. I mean, it's – I can't stand Cat sometimes.
And, yeah, and he cannot, like, take on the physicality. And he's the type of guy where he'll just, like, melt under the pressure of
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Quickly going through these other playoff series. So Lakers, Timberwolves, my Lakers. Lakers looked really bad game 1. It was just an awful game. One of those kind of games you throw it back in mind. They got the job done. Won game 2. Still, offense hasn't looked great for them. I still like them overall in the series. It's not gonna be a 5-game series. I underestimated Timberwolves. I think it'll be a 6 or maybe 7-game series. I still like the Lakers in that series though. Luka, they just have no answer for. And JJ Redick, he really impressed me in game 2 because he kind of won them that game. Luka played good. Still on the offensive, the Lakers weren't great. The best series is Clippers Nuggets.
Yeah.
Those games have been great. If you're just a pure basketball fan, watch those games. It's awesome to see.
And those teams I feel like are very evenly matched up.
Yeah, and shout out Kawhi Leonard. He looks healthy and explosive, which I'm really happy for the guy. It's probably so frustrating going through all the injuries he has gone through the last few years, and he's finally healthy again. He looks awesome. I mean, great sight to see. Warriors rock. You want to go to Clippers?
Yeah. I was just gonna say about Jokic. I feel like if the Nuggets win the series, it's another reason why Jokic is so great after them firing his coach and all that, and through all that he could still hang on and win a playoff series.
Seeing those fourth quarters, because Jokic and Murray 2-man, in my opinion, is still the best 2-man in the sport to this day. I mean, Jamal Murray just turns into such a clutch player in the playoffs. I feel like every shot he shoots in the fourth quarter is going to go in. Jokic is insane, but the Clippers have done a good job with him. And Zubac's improved so much.
Yeah. And
Harden's
kind of had a almost career resurgence.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the meme that he stopped aging like dog years.
Yeah.
So he's had a really good year. Clippers look good. I think Clippers are a scary team in my opinion. I really like the way they look. That series is going to go 7 games, if I had to guess. The Rockets, Warriors, I really didn't like the way the Rockets look game 1. And if they lose tonight at home again, they might get, like, swept. I mean, maybe not swept, but I'm worried about the Rockets. Their offense is horrible. And the Warriors are a good team, but I think it's more on the Rockets. Just their half court, it's hard to watch. Game 1 I watched, and I actually thought I was watching a game from the 90s from the Rockets. It was so ugly.
Yeah, I haven't watched much of the Rockets this year, but I remember the year that they drafted Jabari Smith. I thought, because it was Jabari and Chet and Paolo, and I just going to the University of Kentucky, I thought Jabari Smith was hands down should have been the first overall pick. And I could not have been more wrong out of those 3 guys.
Yeah, Jabari Smith, he looked pretty good in game 1. He was honestly on the few Rockets that looked decent. The Rockets run these insanely big lineups from they ran a lineup with Amen Thompson, who can't shoot.
Yeah.
Tari Eason, who is a wing. Jabari Smith, Alfred Sengun, and Steven Adams. I'm not even joking. They couldn't score.
Yeah.
It was ugly to watch. Defensively, I mean, they were great, but that's just I think there's like their Emu Udoku's thinking like he could just out bully the Warriors, but that's just not a team you could do that to. And Steph just owns the Rockets. That's his team he just tortures. But it's a little playoff basketball recap. We'll keep going over. Do we have voicemails to finish out the show?
We have one more voicemail.
Couple last minute thoughts on the draft.
Hello, Big Apple Breakdown.
Oh, what is this?
This is Julie Rodon. My husband Carlos and I listen to your show, and we're tired of you picking on our son. I hope you saw him pitch Friday night. And when we're in the playoffs and he's pitching, I don't want you at the game, you hypocrites. You should stop picking on my son. I heard the two of you were chubby little boys. You should know better.
All right. Okay. Well, first off, that story didn't make sense.
I think
he said husband and son.
I think she was trying to. I think we got a little Carlos Sr. situation, and then Carlos Rodon is Carlos Jr. I think his dad is named Carlos also.
All right, I'm a little confused. I think any Carlos Rodon slander deserves it. And look, I will cheer for the guy when he pitches great. He plays for my favorite team. Of course, I'm going to cheer for him.
And we admit when we're wrong. We were not wrong about him in the starts where
we
he was
even
bad,
said in our rants that he'll have good starts.
Yeah,
Yankee fans don't get.
We'll give him his flowers when he has good starts, and we want him to have good starts. So
of course,
yeah,
he plays for. Don't do it, Yankee fans. Don't. You know the trap. Don't get in the Carlos Rodon trap.
Don't fall too much into it. But because I remember even on Friday when he had a good start, and I texted you. And you were like, I don't care. He's still horrible, whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, but you got to appreciate the good.
Yeah, you're right.
Good.
That's the way to look at it.
Usually you're the one saying that to me.
He's not horrible. He's not a. He's clearly.
But he's not the.
He's not an ace.
$100 million pitcher.
No. And it's frustrating because he has the stuff. Like I've said this, he has the swing and miss ability. But it's a few moments a game, and then when he's bad, he's bad.
Yes.
That's the issue. When he's bad, he's bad.
Horrible.
But you said that's the last voicemails?
Yeah, and he's definitely not gonna be able to keep this up for he'll make a couple starts like now.
He'll have a good month.
Now, May, June, July, and then August is when it will go completely down the toilet. He's not gonna be consistently good until August, but. Hell of a start or two each month.
What I can't stand is when you put the game on and you put a 1 o'clock game on and you turn the game off at 1:30 because the Yankees are down 6-0 and he didn't get through the first inning. Mm-hmm. That happens like twice a year.
There's nothing more frustrating than when it's a Saturday 1 o'clock game or just a random weeknight game where that's what you're looking forward to all day, and then you turn on the game and it's just a quick 6-0 start by the Seattle Mariners or Cleveland.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
Los Angeles Angels.
Look, I hope Carlos Rodon pitches well. I mean, I don't cheer against him.
Of course.
But is that it? Is that I think that's their show for the week. We got some exciting content coming out. Be on the lookout for a video Friday. And thank you guys. We only got 2 more episodes in the studio before we go fully online. We'll get mics, but thank you guys for the support.
Yes, sir. Thank you.